Okay, folks, here's a quick review of the Chewbacca figure that was produced by Hasbro as a part of the Star Wars The Black Series line of 6-inch scale action figures. Okay, the articulation joints on this figure, they were plentiful. Chewbacca has articulation in the head, shoulders, the elbows, the wrists, the waist, the hips, the knees, and the ankles. The elbows and knees appear to be single jointed. The wrists appear to have a hinge joint. The feet move up and down, and there's also an ankle pivot joint on this figure. And there also appears to be additional articulation in the upper thigh area. Now, I do have a side note regarding the articulation on Chewbacca. You'll notice that there's a lot of plastic around the knees, the wrists, and the feet. And I discovered that this can make getting action poses out of this figure a little bit tedious in some instances. Now, paint apps were pretty much spot on the figure. I did notice some brown overlap on the exposed portions of his teeth, but nothing more to beyond that. So let me pause here, zoom in, and I'm going to give you a closer look as to what Chewbacca looks like. Okay. Now, Chewbacca did come with 2 accessories, so let me take a break here, and I'm going to show you what those look like. Okay, first up, here's his bowcaster. Now, this initially came in 2 pieces in the package, and as you can see, it does have a nice paint deco on it, and that gives it the appearance of an accessory that has seen a lot of usage. Both hands appear to have exposed trigger fingers on this figure, so I'm assuming that Chewbacca is ambidextrous. Now, the only unfortunate thing is that the bowcaster is very hard to fit in either hand on this figure, and it takes a lot of time to get it seated properly. Okay, and finally here is his Bandler ammunition strap that we've seen him wear quite a bit. Now, this is easily removable from the figure, and it looks like a good representation from what we've seen in both the movies, as well as still photos. The figure looks much more presentable wearing this accessory, so that's how I'm going to be displaying him. Okay, I decided to go on ahead and put the Bandler strap back on, just so you can see what the figure looks like. And I think you'll agree with me, this looks a lot more presentable with the Bandler strap on as opposed to removed. Okay, as an additional treat for you, I decided to go on ahead and do a size comparison. And I think you'll agree, the size scale on these 2 figures, Chewbacca and the Han Solo and Stormtrooper armor, it looks pretty good. It's pretty much in scale with how I envisioned it in the Star Wars film. Okay, what I'm going to do now is a quick 360 of Chewbacca for you and let you see what he looks like from all sides. So here he is from the front. Here he is from the right-hand side. Here he is from the rear. Here he is from the left-hand side. And finally, here we are once again facing forward. So overall, I have to say this figure isn't too bad. The articulation is a little bit tricky, but it does offer some good posing options. The paint apps on the figure were, for the most part, well done. But I was disappointed in seeing that getting Chewbacca to hold that bowcaster properly, it proves to be a very tedious task. So therefore, I think that this figure should get a good bordering on great recommendation, but as I discovered with the Han Solo and Stormtrooper armor, this figure does have more great than good going for it. This figure does make for a good Death Star battle diorama display figure, especially when you consider that Hasbro is going to inevitably release that Luke Skywalker and Stormtrooper armor figure. So if you see this figure in your store, go on ahead and pick it up. I think you'll discover that it is a good addition to your Star Wars Black Series 6-inch scale figure collection. Okay, so on that note, take care and stay tuned for my next review. Have a good one.